Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Yeah.
My name is David Bell,
I'm Tom Ryman.
And I'm Adam Ganser.
and we just watched The Predator.
Which number was this?
Predator 4.
Predator
Nice.
4.
Predator 4.
Nice.
Do you know what my job description is? I'm in acquisitions. I look up and I catch what falls out of the sky.
What's on the ship?
So we excitedly came
We
here.
excitedly
None of
rushed
us-
back.
Yeah,
We
none of us wanted to talk
hustled
about
out
it.
of
We
that
really
theater.
hustled out of
We
that.
really did.
So much so that I almost got us trapped in the parking garage trying to get out through a side exit.
Yeah.
Which I would say was almost as exciting as this movie was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what did you guys think?
I thought this film was delightful.
Same.
I knew you were going to say that.
Same.
About 20 minutes in, I leaned over to Dave and said, "Oh, I got it. This is a parody of a Predator movie."
That's exactly what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it,
100%.
once
Yeah.
you said that, because when I was, like, in those first 20 minutes, I was sitting there like, huh,
Yeah.
this is entertaining, but I'm not. And then you said this is a parody,
This is
and
a
it, like,
parody
clicked,
of a
and I was like,
Predator film.
oh, I can enjoy this movie now.
It is the last action hero of Predator
Yes.
movies.
It definitely relies on how a Predator movie goes.
You-
and then we
yeah.
make jokes about that.
Yeah.
This
For
movie
sure.
it has a 40% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. I think just judging from the audience, it'll be a higher audience score because the critics apparently had no fucking sense of humor about this movie.
I mean,
I
you
haven't
just
read
have
any
to-
negative reviews yet.
Let's just be like honest and fair, right? To be honest and fair, nobody does anything that makes any sense in this movie.
Nope.
This
And
movie's insane.
Yeah.
motivations and like equipment and people teleport constantly.
Right.
Yes.
Here's what when we were walking out, I said this reminded me of The Nun,
Yeah, you did.
and the reason why is when me and Tom watched The Nun, we just watched. I think it was The Nun. It might have been another bad film that we watched. We said something like it's completely batshit. Why isn't it funny? Like, if you're gonna make a movie where the plot makes no sense and it's completely fucking crazy, like if you're doing that but also trying to make it like serious or scary,
That was The Nun.
that was The Nun.
was
Yeah,
The Nun.
then it just comes off like awful. It's just boring and unfun.
It's boring. Then,
yeah,
right.
it's just the plot makes just as much sense as The Nun, I would say.
Yeah, it makes I think as much sense as it needs to.
Exactly. Yeah,
if that.
Like, I mean, it's
but it doesn't matter.
the fucking Monster Squad with adults in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're going to name tropes and stuff, and I'm going to keep looking at you like nobody did anything that made any fucking sense at
No.
all. In
It
this
didn't
movie.
matter. They
No.
didn't need to.
You know what? You're right. I had fun the whole time.
I didn't
It's true.
care.
It's a 90s action movie.
It's stupider than a 90s action.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But it's
The part that really reminded me was the very end. Was such a 90s action movie moment.
oh yeah.
Spoilers, there's a robot predator.
Yeah, there's a robot
Looks just
predator.
like
like-
Cyrax from
yeah.
fucking
It
Mortal
looks like
Kombat.
it's-
And then the
10,000%
main character's
Cyrax.
like, "Oh, I got to get me one of these," or he says, "Like,
Yeah,
this
he
is my
said,
new
"That's
suit."
my new suit.
And that felt like such a fucking 90s movie ending.
Yeah, this movie is I think the reason why we enjoyed this movie is because it is intentionally dumb.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely intentional. There's no question.
Like
Yeah.
Shane Black sat down and was like, "Okay, I'm going to make a new Predator movie." Well, Predator is ridiculous,
Yeah.
so I'm just going to make a ridiculous
right, he
movie.
doesn't super respect this
No!
series.
Here's the thing,
This
though.
this movie calls diehard Predator fans assholes.
It really
the
does.
entire
Yeah,
time.
it really
But here's the thing: is I don't actually agree because,
You don't think so?
well, I think that if you're a diehard Predator film, you remember the first two Predators.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Predator 1 is kind of silly. The characters, fucking Jesse Ventura in that is a ridiculous character.
Is that the one
They're
where
all,
he has the literal chain gun?
Yeah. And they're all
That's a
making
stupid weapon.
Yeah, and they're all making like stupid jokes. The joking and stuff reminded me a lot of Shane Black's character in fucking the original Predator.
That was definitely intentional.
Oh yeah, and then Predator 2 is fucking dumb. I love it, but it's Predator in Los Angeles fighting gangs.
It's great.
Yeah.
I never saw that.
Oh yeah,
watch it.
I really
Bill Paxton's in it. Danny Glover's the main character.
Bill Paxton's in it?
Yeah. That's what Bill Paxton has the distinction of a man who's been attacked, and I believe killed, maybe just attacked by a Predator, an alien, and a Terminator.
His fate is unclear in Terminator. He gets thrown against the fence.
Right. I'm going to say he died.
Maybe.
But it's a silly film. It's over the top.
Yeah, all the Predators, and then
that part where he's in like the apartment and he's fixing himself and the old lady, like that's silly. And then what they did for for Predators and Alien vs. Predator, I'd say they were like, this is serious. Take it serious.
Yeah.
And it was just like, no, what the fuck are you guys doing? And like Predators is a fine film, but it missed. I think that's like the one that misses the most.
Yeah, it's not not corny. What's the word I'm looking for? Campy.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's campy. That's correct.
Yeah, and the Predators misses out on that. This movie does not.
Yes.
Yeah, this. I mean, I haven't seen a movie that was shameless like this in a long time.
Yeah.
But not in a dirty way.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah, just in a like, hey, that kid and his dad have walkies all of a sudden on the middle of a spaceship.
They sure do.
Yeah.
He jumped on while it's
Don't
flying.
see him use it before.
I do
Never
really
uses
like-
it again.
Right.
There's some-
why not? You know?
There's some action devices in this that will say were very good.
Oh yeah.
One
hear it.
being the force field in the spaceship.
force field.
I had never seen that done before, so it was,
It was
one
a
of
good
those
idea.
things. Yeah.
I thought the fact that the antagonist found and used a shoulder cannon in the middle of the forest.
That becomes his undoing.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, does he die? It wasn't clear to me.
Yeah, Olivia Munn calls to him as he's charging up the gun to shoot at the monster predator while Thomas Jane is stabbing it.
Yeah.
And he turns, so the gun turns with him and shoots his own head off.
Yeah.
It happened so fast.
It
It
happens
is.
very
Okay.
fast,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, Thomas Jane is in this.
He is. And he's delightful.
This is the fucking. Oh my god.
the fucking rogues gallery
Yeah.
that is this movie.
Should we
Actually, I
go
started to
through
really
it?
like them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were. I was like, the first like 30 minutes of it, I was like, this is like dumb and not in a good way. But after a while, they sort of won me over. Like,
The first when the bus full of our main characters who are called the Loonies, not accidentally, it's supposed to sound like the Goonies because this is Adult Monster Squad.
yeah, but it's also The Fugitive.
Yeah,
Like
to a
it's just
degree.
that
Yeah.
scene from The Fugitive for a while.
Yeah.
And they had some jokes.
Right, if every character had like a thing.
Yeah, hey Kimball, what you in for?
Yeah.
You know, it's just a lot of that shit for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm in for making counterfeit lunch boxes. Like they all have their own wacky bit.
Right. I mean, the setup is that the main character sees a predator and they make him seem crazy, and they throw him in this
Right,
bus
yeah.
with all other crazy army guys, and they're not like PTSD or like gritty. They're like cartoon characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know
I
what?
got very nervous because when they introduced the character with Tourette's, it's just like, this is
I
gonna
was,
be,
I was anxious about that, but I think it worked out fine.
I was
Yeah,
also
it's
worried
Hollywood
about
Tourette's.
The U.S. military agent who's clearly got an English accent, who's played by Theon Greyjoy.
They made him Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, what?
This is
Yeah.
I guess the reason I calmed down with that stuff because it's like having adults in the room where you calm down because it was like the actors, it was fucking Thomas Jane as the guy with Tourette's. So all I could think is like, okay, Thomas Jane wouldn't like do something. I trust Thomas Jane to make the right decision when playing this character. And like that was the most I could think is that like, okay, I know these guys. There's the Greyjoy.
Yeah,
there's-
Keegan-Michael Key.
yeah. And so it's like,
Keegan-Michael
okay.
Key was very good.
Yeah, and
in
so
this movie.
it's that where
yeah.
like when they introduced those characters and they were so over the top.
Yeah.
and it was just like I think these guys know what they're doing. I think they can figure like
Right. I feel like a lot of the reshoots must have been because this movie had to be reshot after it tested negatively in the studios. Were like the main note they apparently gave to Shane Black was the movie's too silly.
Yeah, it needs to be scarier.
So it needs to be scary. So I
What?
feel like it was all in the first part because the first 20 minutes are kind of a hard sell.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Not everything's clicking.
Well, and you're just there's so many loose threads that don't seem like they matter for a while.
Right.
I
And
guess I should say, because I'm going to sound more negative than I felt about this movie. I thought this movie was like a C, but I liked it, and like he kind of won me over on a lot of things that were really dumb.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's amazing.
Almost everything in this movie is very dumb.
Yeah.
But like, and normally you can feel me start to squirm and like my arms fold and like I'm out on a movie like this because it's not because it's not so dumb that I can like make fun of it in the theater. It wasn't that dumb, you know. But this movie kind of won me over after a while.
It's
That's impressive.
oh man, I can't. This is a very very fun movie.
Yes.
It is fun.
I mean, all right, just to pluck. I feel like people should watch the movie before listening to this, but I don't think they have to.
You don't really have to.
There's
I mean,
a scene where the Predator kills a truck full of guys, and then
my
the
God.
driver
I love
hears
this
it
fucking
and
part.
says like, "Are you guys okay back there?" And so the Predator picks up a severed arm and sticks it through the front as if to give a thumbs up on the arm.
Uh-huh.
And the guy buys it, and then the Predator just sits
He
in the
sits
truck.
back and he's like, "I'm just gonna ride in this truck
That
now."
was the moment that I knew the Predator was that particular Predator wasn't a bad guy, because I was like, you can't have the villain do that.
right.
And then the saddest thing was the fact that they kill that Predator.
They kill that
and I was
Predator
like,
pretty
I wanted
fast,
that
yeah.
Predator there to the end. I
Yeah.
wanted a funny Predator.
The Predator that uses a truck deserves
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
whole feature
Well,
for Dave.
I mean, he was running up until that point,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Well, fuck, I'm just gonna get in the truck."
Yeah.
I feel like the Predators, they evolve a lot, right? In this
Yeah.
movie, like that's one of the narratives of it. They evolve a lot. They never change hair. They just
No,
don't
there's a-
ever
there's
change.
I don't
real-
think that's hair, is it?
There is a real quick line where Olivia Munn says something like, "I think there's some kind of antenna or sensors or something."
Yeah.
But they skip right over it. Like Shane Black gives very hilarious explanations for the way why the Predator is what it is, that are just like single lines.
He does.
That explain it perfectly enough. You're just like, okay.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know how they've been stealing our spinal cords? Okay, they've been taking that fluid to make,
Right.
to make upgrades
Because he
to
knew
their genes.
he knew what we wanted. We didn't want tons of Predator lore. We didn't
No,
need to
definitely
expand on the Predator universe. Yeah, he just got us. I really appreciate the beginning. Is just like battle in space, ship crashes on Earth. Let's go, Predator.
It was
just
really
like,
hot.
Yeah,
It
was
came
just
in
like
real hot.
sweet.
Well, that's very Shane Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Nice Guys begins with a huge car accident.
Right.
Right.
I forget how Iron Man 3 begins, but that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Even in the movies he's just written, like in the first two Lethal Weapon movies begin with something like that, where it's
Yeah.
just like, here we fucking go.
Iron Man 3 is probably his most calm. That's the one that begins with him at New Year's, the flashback.
Oh, yeah.
And that's actually an expositional scene, but that's him doing a Marvel film. The
Yeah.
rules are different there.
I just want to add. I'm not done with the hair thing yet. I just want to add the dogs also have the same haircut,
Oh, my God. The
and
dogs.
the robot that literally is manifested out of nothing still has the fucking haircut.
Because
Sure
you
does.
wouldn't know it's
What's
the
going on?
Predator otherwise.
Yes, you would.
It has
it
to
has an
look that
impossible
way.
mouth. The
It
mouth
has
is totally
to.
identifiable.
There's the Predator bites several people in this movie.
It really
Both
does.
Predators.
Yes, that was great.
Regular Predator and then Super Predator.
Good
That,
decision.
that was a new Predator.
Great
thing.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time the Predator interacts with a human, it's brutal, and I loved it. Like
Yeah.
every time he walked towards a person and he laid hands on that person, and that person ceased to be, it was glorious.
It was really good.
Like,
I
when he
like
just
how-
does like scrape across the guy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
no look face swipe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. I like how committed to basically harpooning the Predators are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like just shooting knives
They
and
love
harpoons. They love
yeah,
that shit.
they love devising fanciful gadgets
They-
with which to harpoon people.
like they have shoulder cannons and presumably the ability to disintegrate people.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, no, man, I'm going to use these fucking harpoons
Yeah.
instead.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna waste his shoulder.
And thank
cannon.
God for it because
Yeah.
it really makes an entertaining kill.
Man.
You know,
I love that how they used his crawl throwing
His
thing,
glaive, yeah.
where an army
Yeah,
guy
that was
just throws it, and he's like, "Oh, you need something to
Yeah,
catch it. It's gonna come back."
We got to talk about Sterling K. Brown, who's
Oh,
the
please do.
antagonist in the film,
Please do.
and he's fucking incredible.
He really is.
honestly, he's acted really well. I think.
Yeah.
he's acted really well. What is his deal? What is happening?
He's a maniac.
He's a villain.
He's a maniac. He's wearing an outfit that you'd like go on safari in. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like he's in the military. He drives up to military compounds in what is clearly like a Secret Service fucking Chevy.
Yeah.
Right. And then like hops out and he's wearing like kind of a vest.
Yeah.
Kind of a vest,
Like
yeah.
just like what's his and he was a scientist. He's running a fucking lab when we start.
I think he's more of he's like a Black Ops, like Man in Black, super top secret clearance government dude.
And yet no curiosity about anything. Like he could be in a lab and be like,
well,
what the hell's this? I don't care.
he's a typical bad guy where he already knows everything.
Yeah.
Sure, right.
I
Like he
liked-
just wants their shit.
I liked that they established that the government. That's extending the lore, I guess, because there was always touches of that, but in this one, it's just like I guess in Predator 2, the government knows about them too.
Yeah,
But
because
they're just because Gary Busey.
Gary Busey's character. We have a wonderful Jake Busey cameo in this.
Wonderful.
Oh my god.
This made me want.
Jake
This
Busey.
made me want more Jake Busey. Like,
I was
he needs
sad he
to-
didn't come back. I
Yeah.
kept expecting to see him come back, and then we just don't see him again.
I think
he was so unconvincing in every single way. Like
Yeah.
but like I still liked it. I thought it was just like even his running up and like being like a giddy little child when
Yeah.
Olivia Munn shows up.
Yeah.
And he has the line, and this fucking killed me. You practically wrote the book on biological evolution, and I was like, what, on the origin of the species? You didn't write that book. That's Charles Darwin. Like
Maybe
so
he
good.
thinks she's Charles Darwin.
that's it.
Shit.
Also, when she gets told, when Olivia Munn, the fucking code word that like starts her part of the adventure, like her being out in the dog park.
Oh,
right?
stargazing.
Yeah, and then somebody walks up and gives her this fucking dog whistle like sentence, and the look on her face, I cried laughing at it.
Well-
and I was
Yeah.
not the only one. We all had a great
Oh,
laugh.
yeah.
what happened there because the scene was made the news, was cut
Right.
from it. I turned to Tom, I was like, there it is.
Yeah, it's clear that this was the scene
because it
where
was like
something
that was
removed.
clearly supposed to be her at the park and like she has an interaction and then the army guys come, but since they cut the beginning of that, it's just hard cut to her and
Her
it was just like,
staring
ma'am, you have to come
blankly.
with us. And it was just like, whoa, like they do not introduce her character, and I can't like that's not any that's the fault of like the situation that they were in.
Totally.
It wasn't a choice.
It just was like really funny.
Yeah.
It just made.
Oh,
that
yeah,
whole
it was-
scene
It was
really
very
funny.
So it ends up making her first like 2 or 3 exchanges with people is just her looking blankly at people.
Yeah.
Her character is utterly and completely impossible, just incomprehensible in every way.
Yeah.
They have their protocol to get into the lab involves them standing in not separated fucking stalls, but like half stalls and stripping nude and having
Yeah.
a casual conversation. None of that. Nothing's happening here.
Yeah.
While they get heat X-rayed or some shit like that to get
Something,
into the lab.
yeah.
And like.
I know why they did that.
That is not how you design this.
No.
This is not Starship Troopers. Like
But-
that's bananas.
Despite
you want
the
to
presence
have-
of Jake Busey.
Right.
I
Exactly.
didn't. That was one of those sequences where I was like, "Why is this happening?" But then
Yes.
the moment the predator got awake, I was like, "Oh, I know why that's happening."
Why?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a great moment where someone's fucking naked
Right.
in their face with a predator.
Yeah.
Sure, but why?
I think just because that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but
here's
like,
the funny
literally narratively,
thing.
why?
Narratively, this was what interesting to me because she points it out later. She's
Yes.
like, "I want you to know I was totally naked and this thing didn't attack
On
me."
the run, she says it, which makes
Yeah.
me laugh my ass off.
Yeah, they didn't. They never.
They don't
had,
use that.
Yeah, they don't use it. They don't use the moment where because that's a regular predator thing is they don't kill you if you're unarmed or not posing a threat.
Oh, is that true? I didn't
Yeah,
know. Okay.
I just assumed that was going to happen with the kid or something, or I thought there was going to be a joke where someone misinterprets it and so they get naked or something because they
Yeah,
don't
that
want.
would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, but they never. I wonder if there's a deleted scene or something that. Pays
Yeah, it's
that
a weird
off.
thing to set up and then not.
Yeah,
But there's
and
a
Shane
lot of-
Black
You
tends
also
to be
knew
good
the-
at
Yeah.
doing this stuff.
Well, he's the screenwriter for this.
yeah.
You knew the lore enough to feel like it was.
There
answered.
was a lot of that in this movie, so it may just be another example of that where he references just about every possible quotable dialogue, situation, whatever from the previous movies, and it's like some of it is he's just throwing it out there so fans can be like, "Hey!" and then clap, and then
Yeah.
this-
Sure.
This was the first time because there's other Predators have done this, And I was glad this was the first time they used "Get to the Chopper" in a way that made me giggle.
Get to the choppers.
And there's motorcycles. That was solid because like I think at least one of the Alien vs Predators has "Get to the Chopper" in it.
Yeah, it's the first one.
I wonder if
no, it's the second one.
Yeah,
the second one.
I don't know if Predators probably has a few lines from.
It might,
and so I like that because it was just repurposing. The
and then she says you're one beautiful motherfucker.
Yeah, that was cute.
That was.
I'm glad he at least
and then the maid guy was like, "What are you?" And then the Predator starts to say something. He's like, "I don't care." And shoots him a bunch of times.
Shut the fuck up. So he referenced it, but he knew enough to at least comment on it. So,
yeah.
See, I wish I knew all this because I would have enjoyed all of those moments more. Every time I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
like
it probably was pretty
I
strange.
was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. This was definitely. He didn't leave out Predator fans, but he also
just made.
He went crazy with it.
Yeah, he just lampooned the shit out of it.
Well, he knew not to make it his own thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the only responsible choice to make with this franchise.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since they've fought aliens, now it's stupid.
That's the
now
thing
it's
is
a silly
going.
thing.
Yeah,
what else do you do?
Going back to the Nun and that idea of like, we might as well make this funny if it's going to be insane. He must have sat. That must have been the first thing. Is not just realizing that it's ridiculous. But like, okay, we're remaking. Like, this is what the Terminator should be doing. It's just like, okay, we're fighting a fucking hopeless battle from the start. We're making like the fourth of this stupid alien movie that's ridiculous.
Yeah, even if you want to count the Alien versus Predator, it would make it the sixth.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and there hasn't been a notable one. I mean, Predators people seem to like. It's Robert Rodriguez, so it's like. There's a level of quality to it.
Didn't direct it. He wrote it.
Oh, he wrote it?
It was the Predators was a screenplay he wrote that was to be Predator 2 that they wound up not using.
And so, yeah, like they're not. Most Predator films on average now aren't that great. They're forgettable.
Yeah.
And so, like, faced with that and being like, I'm going to do another Predator, it's like, might as well make it fucking batshit and fun.
Yeah.
I wish they would do this to the Terminators.
Might as well make it wacky.
Yeah, I wish they would do comedy Terminators because it's like, well, if you're going to do it, you might as well make it fucking memorable somehow. And not just...
This is a concession to... the idea that there have to be more Terminators.
Yeah, this is nihilism. This is Shane Black at his most nihilistic, I think. And that's fine because it's... I think I've told this story before. You might have told me originally. I had heard that the reason Gus Van Sant remade Psycho was just because he knew it was going to get remade. Was that him who did it?
Yeah. Gus Van Sant.
And it was like, well, I might as well just do it and we'll rip off the Band-Aid. Like, it was that idea of like, well, someone's going to remake it.
I'll jump on this grenade.
Yeah. And so I could see that if a studio's just like, we're making another...
I did not tell you that. That really disturbs me.
Well, I don't know if it's true or not, but the idea makes sense. Because it is the idea of like, well, all right, I guess the studio's going to make another Predator. You know what? Give it to me. Give it to me. I'll do something with it. Yeah. And obviously the Psycho remake wasn't good at all, and he didn't do anything. Like, it would have been great.
Well, I mean, it was like an additional fuck you because it's a shot for shot remake.
I heard that was the statement. Yeah, the statement was like, okay, fuck you, studio. I'm just going to make a shot for shot remake of Psycho.
I've heard that. Speaking of nihilism. Can we talk about these dogs?
Yes.
The space dogs. Specifically, okay, first of all, fine. If they're going to have Predator dogs that are basically Predator heads on dogs, fine.
Yes. Not completely out of... I'll tell you this, not completely out of the blue for Predator fans because the dogs were in Predators.
Okay,
they were in the third film.
That's fine. Established.
So it didn't shock some of us.
That's fine. No, that's fine. I didn't think it was like way out of tone.
Yeah.
The thing that surprised me and seems a little nihilistic is the idea that a man walks up and shoots one of them in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't kill the space dog.
Nope.
It reprograms them to be their friends. Like,
to be a regular dog.
Literally just makes them your friend. Like,
pretty much.
Like, brain damage can help you win your battles.
I mean,
pretty much.
But also, who gives a shit? Why not?
Like what I just said, brain damage can help you win the battles, is the moral of this movie.
Pretty much.
Literally the moral of the movie.
Yeah, the dog just walks around and is just...
fetches things.
It's the dopiest thing.
Yeah. Well, but also...
And the fetching is always set up and pay off. Both times they do it, they throw something important for later, and the dog brings it
back later.
But also, and like I'm saying this not because it's funny, but because it's actually in the movie. Like, so the hero of this movie is ultimately the autistic son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, who they give a
also-
job. The government gives a job to at
Government
the
gives the
end.
autistic kid a job.
Which is
Who is
what?
like,
Yeah.
he's like 6.
Right,
so
well,
good.
he's older than that. He's
That's
16.
all right. This is all
he's
okay.
he's
I don't know
magic.
how old
This
kids
kid's
are.
magic.
This is a Shane Black thing, which is that all of his films are always a little bit kids films, in that he sticks a kid in it and then has something that's like appealing to kids. Like the kid is always awesome. The kid always has an awesome room, like in Iron Man 3.
Sure.
They always have cool gadgets, and he like, even though this is an R-rated movie, I think he knew in the back of his head, like, kids are going to be watching this. I watched R-rated movies as a kid, so it's just like,
I'm gonna keep hammering on it. But like his writing partner for this movie is the guy who directed Monster Squad.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
yeah, and it was just him like, let's get a kid in this and let's have a fun alien dog, cute alien dog.
Yeah.
Throw that in. I was surprised he didn't team up.
I was also a little
Sorry.
surprised by that. And it's okay. I just, to finish a point.
Yeah.
This kid is also like mentally disabled, right?
yes.
So that's another example, and they point at it a bunch.
I mean,
Like,
the
they point
predators
at it a
want
bunch.
him because he has autism.
Right.
The idea in this, they make two very definitive statements in this. They in this world, they say that autism is the next level of evolution, and I guess she
in
she
one
cites
of the worst lines of dialogue in the movie.
yeah, she says like, oh, there are many books that say, and I can't really, I haven't
She
read
says
anything
being
about that.
Being on the spectrum.
You know,
is,
some
Right,
experts
yeah.
say that being on
Yeah.
the spectrum is actually the next stage
and
of
so
evolution.
they use that as the predators then take the kid because he's their next stage and they're going to take his spine. The other thing that actually like depressed me, just because I was like, oh, he's probably right, is they compare the Earth to a going out of business sale where the predators are coming because they're like, well, we got like 2 generations left for global warming, and everybody in the scene is just like, yeah, that's probably right. And then they move on. They just simply accept that we're dying.
that we're going to die in about 40 years.
Yeah.
They don't compare it to a going out of business sale. They compare it to Hostess going under and you needing to grab up Twinkies before
right.
they're all gone.
Right, yeah. And that was such a depressing
Did that
reality.
Yes. Sterling K. Brown says it.
but
when he's-
that didn't happen in real life, right?
Oh, Hostess?
I kind of assume that
Somebody might have bought them up
he
or
didn't.
something.
Yeah, he didn't.
'Cause
He
I was
didn't.
like confused by that. I was
The
like,
wording
what?
he said was not like, didn't imply that they definitively went out of business. It was like a scare. Like it sounded like it was a Twinkie scare.
I mean,
But
I'm gonna look it up.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I mean, Hostess is still around. I mean,
But yeah, those 2
I
moments.
think.
The global warming thing. I know it's not. It's said by like a character in the government who said by the villain.
Shot by the villain, yeah.
And he says it so matter of factly, and it was the fact that the realization, like, oh, that's probably right. Like, what a bummer.
Yeah.
And no one questions it because why would they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the basic premise of the film.
Oh, we haven't even
Twinkies
gotten
were
through the film.
temporarily
There it
halted
is.
in 2012.
There you go.
But yeah, I didn't mind the on the spectrum thing. They established that the kid has like a fantastic memory. That was one where I was like, what's going on with this character? Because they immediately established
He's got a good memory.
he has autism and he's in class and they do the chess scene.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like, what a weird scene to have in Predator, like this long sequence of him, but it played into the whole plot.
Right.
I laughed my ass off in my heart from everything the bullies did
At
in this
those
movie.
2 ghoulish
Oh, those
bullies.
bullies.
Two gremlin
Those 2
buddies.
fucking bullies.
It's
That-
like they're sitting out there daring each other to pull a fire alarm.
Yeah.
The fire alarms, by the way, if you pull them, get
You-
ready for a purple hand.
They
They're gonna
spray
stain
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
out
for
of
this exact purpose.
Yeah.
Although that said, I had a friend who triggered the alarm at the Boston Science Museum. It was hilarious. We were kids, but it turns out, you know how most of those alarms have glass on or a plastic
A cover,
dome?
yeah.
Turns out all you have to do is take that off and
Yeah.
the alarm goes off.
That's good to know.
And it didn't spray his hand or
if I'm
anything.
ever there and feel like pranking, I
Yeah.
guess that's what I'll do. But like these kids, like just like laughingly pull the fire alarm. Everyone's running out of the building, and this child who's disturbed by the loud noise, which never comes up again later.
The dog barking freaks him out.
Freaks
Yeah.
out everyone though. Doesn't freak out him specifically.
I think that was to just establish he has autism.
Yeah, I
that
think that's
he's-
what it was.
Yeah, but then don't you feel like if he's in a gunfight with like missiles
That's true.
and people getting knifed to death? Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
not gonna pick this movie apart. It's
Nah.
that's dumb. The kids walk in, and like he's sitting there wailing on the ground. They call him an ass burger, which stupid me, I didn't understand that was a reference to his autism till much later.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's the insult, ass burger.
Yeah,
What the fuck? and then like they just see he's in pain and they just leave.
Yeah, well, I think
I was like,
they
what?
get up to him because he's having like he's crouched in the corner. He's got hands over his ears and he's just kind of rocking back and forth and moaning because the noise is too much for him. And the bullies are just like, I guess they were just like, man, this isn't even fun.
Yeah, yeah. And
Like,
those bullies, I pretty sure there was a draft of this
where they got killed.
Yeah,
I was waiting for them to get
because
killed.
They should
the
have been
payoff
killed,
is the bullies bully the kid when he's it's so fucking great. The kid takes the predator. He's mailed we should probably just go through the
Yeah,
plot.
we should.
I guess we
Well, yeah, let's
He's
hit the main
mailed a
point.
predator mask.
Right.
So the
And
main
wears it
character
on
of the movie is his
Halloween.
father, who's
Right.
a sniper.
Yes.
Yeah.
You gotta start with
Who
that.
sees the alien?
Right.
He gets the mask and a bunch of the equipment.
Mask, a gauntlet, and a little ball that makes you invisible.
Right, and he goes into a bar in
eats.
Mexico.
He swallows.
Swallows.
It. Sure does.
That took me a second later when he's like, and has to take a shit. I was like, did that character just have to take a shit in the middle of the movie?
He
And then I
sure
realized,
does.
like, he shits out the ball.
He shits out the ball, yeah.
But like, I've been saying for a very long time that like I wish action movies would address the fact that like when it's like Die Hard and he's
Yeah.
like there for 24 hours, like at some point he's like, man, I gotta take.
He's
a
dropping
shit.
a load in those vents, man.
Yeah.
John McClane is.
Yeah. So I
he's
was just
pooping in that elevator shaft.
I was happy because at first I thought like, they just showed that you have to poop sometimes. Everybody
that,
poops.
Yeah, that was a real gleeful moment for
Yeah.
you. When that fact was finally elucidated in cinema.
But it was a payoff to something.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he mailed the main character, black bag sniper, in Mexico doing a thing, shooting drug dealers. Predator crashes. He's being chased by a bigger evil predator. So he mails a mask and a gauntlet to his P.O. box, but it gets sent to his house because he hasn't paid for his P.O. box. So his kid gets it, starts tinkering with it, figures out how to open it up, and winds up accidentally calling the big evil predator, who lands with his... He's like swole as shit. He's like 10 feet tall. He's got two big ass dogs.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like a Navi.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gigantic.
He is gigantor. But he ends up going out trick or treating with the predator mask on.
Which was terrific. That was
That was a good idea.
delightful.
That was a
I
good
liked
gag.
it.
And then he gets
Because he has to like lean because
Yeah.
it's so big and heavy.
Yeah.
So he's just walking around looking like a little Martian. It's so fucking good.
and then he gets bullied again, and then
He gets bullied by the Asperger
and then
twins.
then
Yeah.
he goes to a house and just tries to trick or treat and doesn't. Some dipshit comes out of the house on the balcony
Yeah.
and just slams him with a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He gets
And
bullied
this
by
guy-
these two guys, then other guy.
Then
who's
just
like
a
20,
different bully.
Yeah. Grown man bully throws a rock at his
20-year-old
head.
taking a break from his sad cigarette-addled life.
Yeah.
Steps outside, sees a child, throws a rock at him.
And then the mask triggers something in the mask, and the mask just explodes him in his house.
Yeah.
Just
It's the
kills
him.
shoulder
Was-
cannon.
Kills
It's
him
like-
in such a
The
dramatic
child
way.
essentially murders.
he gets, the guy gets ventilated by a laser blast that then detonates the entire house.
So I have to think the original version did not involve the house and just the bullies
It should
getting
have been.
vaporized.
It should have been.
It should
And I
have been
feel
the
like the
two.
studio was just like,
We can't have that kid
yeah,
kill
we
two other kids.
kids can't
we
get
can't have children.
At the
murdering
very
other
least,
children.
Predator should have shown up and deboned those kids.
Yeah, but yeah,
Really
that
thought
felt
was
like
gonna
a
happen.
that felt like a quick and wonderful rewrite of like, I'll just have a house with some dipshit in it,
Yeah.
being a real
Just
dipshit,
some fucking piece of shit.
some cartoonishly mean human being.
I
in a
live-
beanie.
I live next door to that guy in 1990. I know that guy.
I don't know. Steps outside of the house in a beanie, throws a rock at a child.
Sure.
Fucking Biff comes out.
Sure.
A man no one mourned.
Yeah,
That was the point.
that was the point.
Just a fucking asshole.
That man's ashes were spread by no one.
No,
his
unmourned.
funeral attended by none.
They didn't even investigate his death. That house just stood there in flaming shambles
Yeah,
until the
really.
end of time.
They did a good job at having a bunch of faceless jackasses that can be torn
Oh, there's a
apart.
lot of
They kill-
of nameless maiming.
Yeah, they do kill enough main characters too, which I was like, okay.
did.
I was glad they spared Jake Busey.
They didn't really though. He got stabbed. He got shot pretty
He'll
bad
be
in the
fine.
pelvis.
He'll be fine.
Just wanted to jump in. This movie had the most middle-aged soldiers I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
A lot of
Like,
middle-aged
there was a
soldiers.
lot of 50-year-olds working for 30-year-olds in this fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Sure were.
And it was like, are they all from the original? Is that the problem? I don't understand. Like, even the very beginning when the captain, who's the main character of the movie, like has a sniper squad, the guy reporting to him, he's like 50.
Right?
He's so old, and it's like, wait a minute. You're the fucking sergeant? When did you fucking enlist, bro? Like, what happened?
Man.
Did you get downsized and you enlisted? What
yeah,
happened?
like the other guy, comes running up, breathlessly running up to him, like, sir, I'm reporting, and
Comms
it's like,
are down.
yeah, it's like, dude,
No, bro.
you look like a science teacher. Like, you look like a vice
the
principal.
comms are down. You have to turn the walkie on, you old bastard.
You ancient fucking bastard. Oh man.
There's a lot of old
Predator.
fucking dudes
Yeah.
in this
Oh
movie.
yeah, for
Let
sure.
me. You need me to teach you how Facebook works. So yeah. Really, that's like the original Predator stole a ship full of helpful technology to help us, which winds up being that chill ass robot suit.
So
at the end.
that's what he. All right, the original Predator was trying to help humans.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
That was-
just to be clear, the first Predator in this movie.
right.
Yeah.
The first,
Not the original Predator movie.
the
No.
regular Predator, not the 10-foot tall
Right.
Na'vi Predator.
that was good because that was the other thing is the Alien vs Predators did this, and the Predators do this where there's this like weird inkling to make the Predator on our side because I think they're just so awesome
Yeah, they're
that they
pretty
hate
sweet.
making them villains. And this was one of when he stuck the severed arm in there,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want him to sort of be on our side. Like he's still killing humans,
Yeah.
but
Only the
I
people that
liked
fuck with him.
I liked how they kind of handled this, where he was sort of on our side apparently, but he's just immediately murdered by a Predator who is not on our side.
No, just a big monster.
Yeah,
I like the big monster Predator.
The big
I do
monster
too.
was
fine.
I like having a
Yeah.
big evil Predator again.
Yeah.
There hasn't been one like. I guess Predators has them.
Kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's
You know?
hard to go
Big
back.
evil monster.
It's
Yeah.
hard to go back to the first movie where the Predator is like silently hunting you.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of gone now. Now it's a little bit more of a monster movie. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's never going to be most dangerous game,
That said,
you know, like it was.
that's one of the key things he understood. And I think most of the Predators understand this. The movies is that it's all about being like a human with very little resources against this monster. That
Yeah.
like the final battle is always this moment where you're like, I'm not sure. I know they're gonna win. I'm not sure how they're gonna fucking pull this off. I hope it's not something stupid. And they did pretty good with that, where he's just
Yeah, they
fighting
did
that
fine.
thing with a pistol in the woods.
Yeah, it's a thing where they're always physically and technologically outmatched
Yeah.
by this thing.
I think that's the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why the first movie had Arnold,
Yes.
because Arnold was so convincing of such a menacing figure in terms
Right.
of being a big, unbeatable bastard, that him getting his ass kicked for a whole movie was like,
Yeah.
damn. You know,
Yeah.
like- and
Yeah.
that didn't quite happen in this movie. It's a little bit more monster movie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more
yeah,
monster
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
That's good though, because Predators was basically that again,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's clear that like they can't just do the same thing over and over again with this. They do have to it has to evolve into something else. Predator 2 was like, okay, we're gonna take him, put him in fucking LA,
Yeah.
and that was enough.
Predators was like, okay, that's a bunch of people on their alien planet.
Yeah.
Like on a game preserve.
Alien versus Predator was like, okay, we're
Yeah,
gonna
it's an
have an
interesting
alien
idea.
versus the Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Real quick, and I know, like, I'm trying not to pick at the movie for things that are like obvious action movie problems,
Right.
but like these people's commitments to bullets, like their commitment to using bullets after they've seen how
It
ineffective they
clearly
are,
does not work.
It's
That
like,
said-
what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, get a different thing.
That
Right.
said, Thomas Jane does find a different way.
He stabs it.
I liked
on
it.
fire.
I thought that was
so good.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good.
He
Yeah.
jumped on the Predator, which was on fire,
Yeah.
and just wrapped
This
around it,
10-foot
lighting
flaming
himself on
Predator.
fire.
Yeah.
Well, and then he has
just
that
stabbed
wonderful
it.
scene with Keegan-Michael Key. at
That
the
was
end.
so
That was
fucking
so-
great.
That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so fucking
That
good.
was so great.
He is impaled on a tree.
Like 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah. Right.
Thomas Jane's impaled on a tree. Keegan-Michael Key is down directly at an angle below him with his guts hanging out.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of looking at each other. And they give each other this look like, yeah. And they each pull out their handguns and then shoot each other at the
That
same
was
time.
so fucking
It's
great.
so
And it's-
good and dumb.
It's
It's wonderful.
funny as hell.
Yeah.
Made me laugh my ass
Man,
off.
Yeah.
the comedy
It's really
is
good.
the part where they what's her name? They wake her up in the hotel room.
Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn. That,
That was real funny.
a
was a
hell
real
of a
good
scene
scene,
where
yeah.
they're like putting gifts next to her
Yeah.
unconscious body, like she's a shrine.
Yeah, they
I
get like a little
laughed.
cup of coffee.
Yeah,
like, well, we don't want her to be
Yeah,
alarmed when
that's
she
too
wakes
close
up.
for her. That's too far away. I laughed more at that than I've laughed at a comedy in the theater in years.
Yeah.
Like, that was really funny. Then there was another guy like where she pulls up that tin full of unicorn that comes back later, and she's like, "What is this?" It's a unicorn, and then he feels bad about it. He's like, "It's a real piece of shit."
And then, they paid that off because at the end she kept it.
Okay, we have to talk about he buries a handkerchief full of little
stuff.
knickknacks from all of his fallen comrades, and like some of them just make no sense.
Yeah.
And he looks right at the camera with the hula girl and is like, for Thomas Jane's character, and he's just like, I guess he had this on him the whole time. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
I feel like I don't want to say that Shane Black didn't. I'm sure like the comedy and the humor and stuff is on point with this, but I feel like a lot of the main plot, Shane Black sat down and he's like, look, I'm going to write this over a weekend. I'm forcing myself to, like to make it purposefully like stupid.
Just insane.
Yeah,
like
like-
all of the.
I think this is a guy who knows, like,
Well, he knows the tropes so
He
well.
knows the tropes so well that he's bored of them, and also like, he's fucking funny. He's like a funny guy. Like all these jokes were good. Like, name a joke he put out there that was dumb. They were all good.
For the most part, there were
They
one or
made me
two
laugh.
that didn't quite land, but for the most part,
That's
it's
pretty
all
good.
Yeah, it's real strong.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We've written a lot of sketches. That's a good
Yeah,
ratio.
he's always been good. I mean, all of his movies, it's always like, again, the craziest thing is the fact that he was allowed to do Iron Man 3 because that's almost a spoof of a Marvel film at times.
At times,
Because
yeah.
it has that Shane Black thing where henchmen will just say stupid, weird shit
Yeah.
out of nowhere or like some ridiculously silly moments. Like, it's great. Like,
yeah, with the fucking the glaive in this movie where the
Yeah.
one random henchman shoots it and then Sterling Brown's like, "Oh, you got to have a thing to catch that. It's coming back.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
coming back. You need to. It's coming back." Like,
yeah,
he just kind of
it's
gets
so
out
good
of the way.
because he does the thing. He,
so dumb.
Nothing's gonna beat that unicorn
Yeah.
joke. That unicorn joke
it's so
really
good.
lit up my
It's a
day.
piece of shit.
he's
Real
able.
piece of shit.
He's able to parody and to do these things without feeling like it's winking at the audience.
There's
too
some
much.
winking, but like
There's a
not-
little bit, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't, like when they call it the Predator and they're like talking about, well, why do you call it the Predator? It's like, well, because they hunt humans and then they have the whole conversation.
Right. That, well, I mean,
Like, well, that doesn't make sense. Predators hunt for food. This one's hunting for sports. It's
so
like,
which he says that's more like a bass fish.
Yeah.
It's like,
and he's
okay,
like, well,
that's
we
pretty
voted
funny
and this
joke.
is
That's
it.
pretty good.
And that's a very winky at the audience thing.
But he does it without getting a groan.
Exactly.
A lot of people get groans when they try to do this shit. He's really good at it.
Yeah,
so we don't groan.
And it's really it's adding in like one of my favorites in Iron Man 3 is when Robert Downey Jr. has the gun and he's behind the barrel and he's like, how many guys are in? And he like peeks up and goes back down. He's like, I don't know, it was too quick. I looked too quick. And it was like, and like that's an action trope.
Well, yeah,
but then
right.
it's like it's not breaking the fourth wall. It's just like, yeah, no, you can't
And
do
when
that.
they're getting so frustrated interrogating Ben Kingsley, and Don Cheadle's like, Tony, I am going to shoot him in the face.
But yeah, there's like, and then there's that in this basically where it's like it like is right up on that fourth wall, winking, but it doesn't quite cross it, and so yeah, it doesn't get a groan. It works.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to like. Shane Black is still who action directors and writers are trying to imitate.
Right.
He
Yeah,
still has it. You
Well,
know,
he invented
Yeah.
almost all of the tropes that we
Yeah.
know.
And like these
For
people
action.
certainly, and none. This goes for I think all of his films that he's directed. At least no one exists in our reality.
Oh,
in
no.
these films, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3. Like everybody's a
Guys.
funny, the nice guys. Everybody's like a comedy version of reality.
I do wish there was a better director at the helm of this movie, because I don't think it ever would have been like cinema,
Right.
But I think that a better director just could have made it more fun to watch, like more visually fun to watch, because it was kind of bland.
Yeah, visually speaking, it didn't do much
any-
for me.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I thought it looked
I
good
don't-
enough. There were a couple of moments that were confusing,
yes,
Um,
more than a couple.
but I didn't. The visuals, I never noticed.
yeah,
For better or worse, I never noticed them.
I
It's
was
just like,
I was
I'm
too
watching the
busy
movie. Yeah.
enjoying how insane the movie was.
But that's what action movies are for.
That's true.
yeah.
They are for Zack Snyder, like people like
Well,
that who are. And I'm not
I
naming
guess,
him 'cause
yeah,
I like
this-
him. I'm just saying like who have that talent that like holy
Right, like
shit.
he did, like Last Action Hero. Like
I don't
brought
think-
up
yes,
earlier
McTiernan.
was directed by McTiernan. Yeah.
I don't know if this is an action movie or supposed to be.
It's definitely an action movie.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's like a monster comedy. Like I think it's more of a comedy than an action movie.
It is 10,000% a comedy.
Yeah.
but like,
I think it's more a comedy than anything else.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
The Predators, that's Amalgamated Dynamics, who
Yep. They were in the credits. Tom Woodruff
Friend-
and Alec Gillis.
yeah, okay. They did the Alien versus Predator movies, and they've done Alien movies, and they're very good. And I saw there was only like a few CGI shots with the Predator, but generally speaking, it looked like it was animatronic.
Most of the time, I think the big one was CG.
I think it was CG most of the time. I feel like I saw a couple shots that weren't, but I might
Some of the close-ups
I might have to
might have
see
been.
it again.
Yeah.
But it looked really good. The CG didn't look great to me in this.
That's another director problem.
Yeah,
I didn't think it looked bad.
Yeah, I guess
It didn't look bad out of tone with the movie. If
Right.
you saw exactly that CGI in a Marvel movie, it would look very bad.
See,
too.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that it looked bad for CGI today? Like it didn't. It looked like cheaper than we're used to, especially
I just
when
think it
compared
wasn't
to the
done well.
yeah, especially when compared to the practical stuff in it that looked very good. Like they clearly like they've clearly been advancements in how to do the little fucking predator the little mouth
His
things.
little crab mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah, the mandibles.
mandibles. That's the word I was looking for.
Mandibles.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've advanced in the mouth technology.
yeah,
Mandible technology has definitely advanced
yeah.
since the 80s.
I think so.
Yeah.
We saw a real
No,
spike
it's
in,
but it's
in
like
mandible
do you ever
development.
see the new fucking animatronics at the Disney, like the upgraded animatronics? That's what I'm thinking of. Is that you forget because animatronics don't show up in movies as
Right.
much anymore, but like in that time they've gotten way better, and I wish we'd see them more in movies.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Amalgamated Dynamics did the Jurassic World sequel, and all of their stuff was cut.
Sweet.
Because of course it was.
Dumb. I would have put it all in and cut out the Brontosaurus.
Yeah.
Or Apatosaurus
That's okay. That's
yelping
another movie.
for help.
That movie should have been a comedy.
Yeah.
I bet
It
they
was
think.
pretty close.
I bet they think they were funny, but
Yeah.
it wasn't close enough to be entertaining. That should have been Shane Black writing that.
Yes, it would have been better.
Give him a Jurassic Park
Oh my
movie. Holy
god!
shit.
It's all
Yeah.
Give him a Jurassic World.
May as well. If we're gonna have to keep watching them, then yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. We haven't talked at all about the lab scenes. I mean, they're just very silly. I just can't. I just need to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in this movie is dumb. The lab scenes are dumb to the 10th power. Like they're real dumb. Like they go. Nobody in there has ever seen a lab before.
Nope.
Like
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
knows what to do
No.
in there. It's incredible. You got to check that out.
I mean, I
Yeah,
love that the lab has like a little museum entrance
Yeah.
that has all the Predator stuff that they've already apparently studied. at
Yeah,
the glass.
we completed those. Those
What's-
can go in the glass case.
Yeah. What's the Olivia Munn line about those? She's like, "Can I get in on that?" Or
Can I get into that?
Into
wanna
that.
say.
I like
It was
that
something
line a
like,
lot.
what? Yeah, okay.
Oh, I think she was referring to the case, but yeah.
No, I know, but it's just, yeah, I guess the case. I just like, can I get into that all that alien shit?
Can I get into that alien
that
shit?
seemed like the vibe of the line.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
it really, I
It's the
thought
vibe.
same
It's the
thing.
vibe of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Olivia
checks out.
Munn is now, to me, like a guarantee that a movie is going to be corny, right? Like if Olivia Munn's in it,
I don't
it's-
think I've seen her in enough.
she was in. Wasn't she at World War Z?
I'm
Didn't
looking her
watch
up.
it.
I think she was in World War Z.
Oh, you don't have to see World War Z.
No, you don't. She was in that last year's The Holiday movie, or maybe it was 2 years ago, The Holiday Party or whatever it was.
Didn't
Jennifer
see it.
Aniston. Okay, well, she was in the Newsroom. That was not as corny.
Didn't see it.
Newsroom, you didn't see?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Newsroom was good.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Didn't
She
see
was-
it.
Okay.
Dang, you've missed out on the Olivia on the Munn phenomenon.
Ocean's 8.
Didn't see it.
Um,
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, I really did. I remember her from The Daily
I
Show.
feel like you're trying to miss her.
Zoolander 2.
Didn't
Didn't
see
see
it.
that.
Ride Along 2.
Didn't see it.
Mordecai.
Didn't see it.
Wow.
Deliver Us from Evil.
Nope.
Magic Mike.
I did see Magic
There we
Mike.
go.
Starting to seem intentional, Tom.
No, I saw Magic Mike.
Delightful film.
Anyway,
Iron
just,
Man
like-
2.
What was she in that?
Chess Roberts. That sounds like a made-up name.
oh, man.
Chess? That's not a great name.
I do. I haven't seen Iron
What's
Man
that
2
short for?
recently
Not
enough.
Jess. Chess.
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 Anyway,
Yeah.
back to the film we just watched.
Well, the reason I'm bringing it up is that I feel like I feel like actors are sort of tiers. You know what I mean? Like every actor suggests a kind of tier, like what tier this movie's in. And to me, putting Olivia Munn in a movie means this movie's upside is a B at best. That's the best it can be.
Sure, it's like tier 2.
It can never be, it can never transcend into Edgar Wright's territory or anything like that. Or Last Action Hero. Like, that can't happen, you know? Not because of her specifically. I just feel like that's the
she's
level
like
of
cursed
project
with that.
she's on.
Yeah,
I just think that's what she works on. It's like Jessica Alba. Was Jessica Alba ever in a great movie?
Fantastic Four.
Idle Hands.
Nope.
Idle Hands.
Nope. Sin City is the answer I might have accepted.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
I liked Olivia Munn's exchange in the fucking her and Thomas Jane about eating pussy. That was a hell of a fucking
And they went on
thing.
for a while.
They went on. They did a who's on first.
Trying to cover the line.
That was incredible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, like that's like hanging several lampshades on it.
Yeah.
It's like
And again,
7 or 8
that was a
lampshades.
moment that was like, if this was like other people doing this, I don't think I would laugh at this and would in fact be very depressed by it.
Yeah.
And like they just like that's what this movie was a lot for me. It was jokes that I was just like, man, you pulled that off. You pulled that joke off.
Yeah.
You're doing jokes about a guy with Tourette's that's somehow not making me go, oh god.
Yeah, he just has that gift. It's like Tarantino can do lines that are over cool and you still kind of like it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Not everybody can. Nobody else can do it, but he has that thing. Yeah, man. I'm not trying to shit on Olivia Munn, by the way. I'm just saying, like, she has that.
I mean, I've
signifier.
only just and apparently looking at her credits. Apparently this is my first movie.
I feel like
her.
She's in
also
the Slam and Salmon.
Oh, I'm sure she was good in that. Everybody was good in that.
Yeah, it's a delightful film.
Olivia Munn also took a lot of heat because she was dating Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers quarterback.
Oh,
So
I know who he is.
most of us. I know you didn't. That's why I was going to look over at you. Most of us who are NFL fans have strong opinions about Olivia Munn.
Oh, okay.
Wherever you lined up on that feud.
Why? Because she was fucking throwing one into this other guy, this Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think
What's her fault?
She wasn't throwing one.
What?
It's a whole thing. She was
She was
distracting Aaron Rodgers
stupid him.
potentially.
What
are you, like an old producer?
This Aaron Rodgers.
Are you gonna pull out your
That's
cigars?
so mean to be mad at her for who she stups.
Dave, why are you getting it? You fucking glee fiend.
yeah.
Like,
Just a taste of vaudeville on today.
You guys don't use stups? It's great. That's
no,
a great
I don't
fucking
use
phrase.
it, Dave. I don't have enough occasions to
stipping
pull
him.
out stup.
Why? Anytime you
around,
say like,
bandying about like
if
my
people
fucking
instead of like they're
brandies.
dating, you'd be like they're stipping each other. Those two.
Sure.
It's great.
So, do we have
You are a human goblin.
any more thoughts about
Just-
the Predator?
I don't know.
I
If
think
people
you gotta see
fucking
this.
see this movie,
Yeah, watch it. It's fun.
If there's
It's a
if
little
there's people watch
little
it,
clunky in the beginning.
yeah.
but
As I said, it feels like there's probably people who would hate this movie
sure.
that exist.
If you don't like the idea that this movie is a parody of Predator films,
yeah,
then you're
and
not gonna like it.
I guess it depends on your relationship because I don't know. Are there Predator fans who take Predator seriously?
There probably.
There
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
'Cause if
they
you-
didn't
if
see
you
the
re-
handshake that is the mystery of time explained.
Right.
Because like if you watch that
The
movie,
handshake
and
that
you
froze time.
if you've
Dylan.
watched that movie and you've seen that handshake and you don't understand the mysteries of all that is true and good,
I'm legit. Well, I guess it would have been too much, but I am given the tone of the movie and how much tongue-in-cheek stuff they did and how many references they did. I am surprised there wasn't a handshake in it.
I'm a
Yeah.
little surprised by that too.
But
This movie is clearly updated for the steeped in irony.
I feel like it's-
2018s.
yeah,
I feel like they would have to be people who like are really into Death Wish, who watch Predator and like really
the
related
Death
to
Wish
Jesse.
remake?
No, the original.
The original.
Someone who like watched the original Predators and like really related to Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Like those would be people I feel like
Here's
that
somebody
would.
watching being like, I'm a sexual tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, that's
too.
why. That's yeah. Like those are the people I can see. Those people. Oh, it's so good.
Brilliant film.
Yeah.
My God, Dylan,
Dylan, you
What's it, like-
son of a bitch.
they got you pushing too many pencils.
Some other
great.
Dylan.
Oh, great. God, I can't
shit.
advocate the importance of exploring
Yeah.
that line.
Yeah, really just swim in it for a while.
Yeah. So
just swimming in it.
Just give it an hour of your
Just
time.
kicking,
Yeah.
treading water. Yeah.
I feel like if you watch this movie and you feel like it's somehow offensive to the original Predators, go back and watch Predator 1 and 2.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, because you probably haven't seen them in a while.
Then
Yeah.
you don't want to watch Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, to me, this is exactly in tone with the Predator I watched.
Yeah.
Because I watched Predator for the first time like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This was exactly in tone, only it was 2018 and not 1985 or
Right.
whatever it was, But they were the same movie,
Yeah.
I thought. I mean, the 80s one was a little more original.
And this one is more like openly silly. Like
I think that's what you do with
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
7 or whatever of the series it is.
Yeah.
You said 4, but then Aliens versus Predator counts.
yeah, just put it
Yeah.
at 6.
I guess,
Also,
like-
Mortal Kombat counts too.
I guess that's
Those
it.
robots.
I can't see
No,
people being
Predator's in
mad
Mortal
at
Kombat.
this.
Oh yeah, he is.
I just can't, because it would be people like, you didn't take the 5th Predator seriously enough.
Oh, come on.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
This is exactly why the comic book character in Simpsons exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just so you have a voice for exactly that problem.
Yeah.
Because you just went to it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all do
Yeah.
unconsciously.
Mm.
So yeah, watch this goddamn movie.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fine. It's dumb.
It's dumb. I enjoy
But
it.
it's
that much more dumb than all action movies.
Right. It's
now.
the best kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't offend you by trying to be more good than it is,
Right.
and it doesn't disappoint you by not being fun.
Right. It never like looks at you. It's not like a Nolan film, which will be like dumb and then look at you and be like, "This is really smart."
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
This is no Inception. This
No.
is not an hour and a half of explanation
And then
of the concept.
it's yeah, it's also dumb without just telling you to fuck yourself.
Right.
It's not like, hey, check out how dumb we are.
Right. It's not.
just
It's
like,
not Hawkeye
like
and Age of Ultron.
they don't. Yeah, they never. The things they comment on it, the winking at the audience in this is never like making fun of their own writing.
Yeah.
It's always just like, it's making fun of the lore. It's just like, this is kind of a silly fucking.
Yeah.
This Predator's dumb. This Predator's silly. Like,
Yeah, what's up with his mouth?
He's got a
Yeah.
crab
He's
face.
got a weird mouth.
Why would
He's
you
got
have
a
that?
weird crab mouth with a second mouth.
Yeah.
It's like shark mouth. I don't know. But I've said this on the podcast a couple of times. There aren't a lot of innovations happening in action movies right now. Like Gravity is one. Like, but mostly they're not that.
Yeah.
This movie gets where action movies are
yeah,
and made one for that.
yeah.
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 Okay.
Well, all right. I think that's an episode.
Adam, you have anything you want to plug?
Sure.
Plug it.
You can catch me on the Small Beans podcast, co-hosting the One Upsmanship podcast, which is a video game podcast with the Mike Swaim. And you can catch me on Twitter at TheRealGans. Otherwise, you can't find me even if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
He's invisible like the Predator.
Yeah.
I swallowed a pellet that makes me invisible.
Right.
And I'll never shit again.
It is anus sized. It would just plug you right.
Yeah, it's perfect.